How would you feel if you were listening to one of your favorite songs by one of your favorite artists where the lyrics really connect to you, and then you found out that they didn't even write the song? Well, the reality is the majority of your favorite artists may not be writing their songs. And after what I heard from a ghostwriter I interviewed, the majority of your favorite DJs and producers may not even be making their own beats. And in this video, you may come to find out the truth about your favorite artist and see firsthand just how deep the ghostwriter industry actually is. When you think of a ghostwriter, your mind may shoot to well-known people who have written songs for other artists, whether it be Benny Blanco writing on moves like Jagger from Maroon 5, Joey Badass writing on Rockstar for Post Malone, or bebe Rexha writing on The Monster for Rihanna. But all these artist names are attached to the songs in one way or another. You can easily go to genius.com and find their names in the credits. I also want to mention that a lot of times if a sample is used, all the artists involved in the sample will be credited as writers on the new song. So that's why some songs will have a ton of different writers even if it was just one. And writing songs for other artists is actually commonplace in the music industry. An interesting example of this is when Tyler the Creator said he actually wrote Earthquake for Justin Bieber in 2017, but he didn't take it. So he tried giving it to Rihanna, but she didn't take it. So Tyler released it and it became one of his biggest songs.
You were saying then that you were kind of mucking around trying to find reasons to write for people and see
Yeah. I wanted to just write pop songs for people, so I kind of did that.
But when I say ghostwriter, I mean a ghost writer. Someone who is writing for these artists with zero credit and none of the fans know that they wrote it. Of course, this definition can get a little murky with different situations, but in general, that's what I mean. And this is actually a very common occurrence in the music industry. It just isn't regularly talked about because of legal issues, contracts, and major labels. I'll get into how it works in just a second, but I do want to mention that this has been going on for a long time and it's definitely not anything new. Back in the 1700s, even Mozart ghost wrote for people. He was paid to ghostwrite music for wealthy people who wanted to look as if they were talented composers themselves. Another example could be Frank Sinatra, who didn't write the majority of his songs, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, Elvis Presley, Elton John, Ariana Grande, even Flight Reacts, and many more have all used writers. The fact that we know that they did it though means that these aren't true ghost writers, but I'm willing to bet that many of these artists have dabbled in the use of real ghostwriters as well. The practice of ghostwriting has persisted throughout the entire lifespan of the music industry. If I had to guess though, it's probably become a lot more common recently because of major labels and their vast resources. Many people in the music industry believe that the majority of popular artists use ghostwriters. You also may be wondering why people hire ghostwriters in the first place, and it can be for a variety of different reasons. I've been saying this for a while now, but I think writing is a very underrated skill when it comes to music. Good writing can make or break a song. Not too often do you come across an artist that can write something intricate and thoughtful, all while making you feel something. You may be a great singer or great at delivering a verse, but you may not be the greatest at coming up with lyrics, so then you hire a ghostwriter. One pop music manager even said, "I saw a pop star on TV once going, 'I'm writing my new album.' And I just thought, you stupid fool. You're a decent pop star, but you're not a writer." Also, ghostwriting isn't something that's just unique to music. It's probably just as common, if not more common, in other industries. In fact, if you were to go Google ghostwriting right now, the majority of what pops up first isn't music related at all. A lot of ghostwriters will write books for authors, jokes for comedians, speeches for politicians, and much more. The Wikipedia definition is someone who is hired to write literary or journalistic works, speeches, or other texts that are officially credited to another person as the author. Even actual artists use ghostwriters as well. Andy Warhol, for example, would supervise others who would assist him in creating his art. But forget about all that because today we're going to be focusing on the music. So, how does ghostwriting even work? What typically happens is labels will reach out to smaller artists and either ask to purchase an existing song or ask them to create a new song. Then the label will purchase the rights to the song, paying the artist however much they find appropriate. It's likely that a lot of the time they even make the ghostwriter sign an NDA. A label executive that Vice interviewed by the name of Chris Anacute, who works with artists like Katy Perry and Rihanna, said, "How it works is that we just pay you out for the songs and we own the rights. Once the label owns the rights, they can credit however they please, so typically the writer will not be credited." Then typically ghostwriters will send out demos or reference tracks for the artist so they can hear what the ghostwriter is going for. Demo tracks and reference tracks are also very common in the music industry because you can't just send someone lyrics and expect them to know how they're supposed to sound on top of an instrumental. For example, earlier this year we even saw a leak for Kendrick Lamar's reference track for Baby Keem.
My mama mad at me, I know he fucked up big. My girl mad at me, I know he fucked up big. What's love? I guess I never understand.
My mama mad at me, I know I fucked up big. My girl mad at me, I know I fucked up big.
Some fans were upset about this as if Kendrick was doing some terrible thing, but it happens all the time in the music industry, they just weren't aware of it. In 2019, Lupe Fiasco actually took to social media to call out Atlantic Records for trying to make him use ghostwriters. Lupe said, "Atlantic is so filthy with the shit that they would turn around and have a team of writers, a team of producers waiting for you. So once you go through the meeting, they strip away all your esteem, they strip away all your confidence in your own work. They got whole songs waiting on you, they even got their raps waiting on you." And this just goes to show how common ghostwriting is in the music industry. It's so common that a label will have an entire team ready for the artist. And to be fair, it does make sense since labels are businesses and businesses want to keep growing and making a profit. So I doubt that the label really cares about the authenticity of the art. Ghostwriting is also a real job too. A rapper by the name of Skillz says that he has worked on hundreds of projects and listens through the discographies of artists he writes for so he doesn't end up repeating anything. MF Grimm, a collaborator of MF Doom, says he used to ghostwrite for many artists in the 90s and said he charged $1,000 per bar. Forbes was actually able to interview a few anonymous ghostwriters, and they said that on average ghostwriters charge anyone from the thousands to the tens of thousands depending on how large the project is and who they're working for. However, ghostwriters don't earn any royalties on these songs, so that's what's kind of risky about it, because if the song ends up becoming a hit, you're usually not going to make any extra money. Of course, I'm generalizing and all contracts and agreements are going to be different, but this is usually how it works. There are also tons of YouTube videos and articles on how to become a ghostwriter in the music industry, which a lot of people will do just to get their foot in the door. For example, Frank Ocean worked his way into the industry writing for artists like John Legend, Justin Bieber, Beyonce, and more in his early career. But as I'm sure you can imagine, many legal disputes can arise from ghostwriting as well. Skillz, who I mentioned earlier, actually put out a song called Ghostwriter where he exposed people who didn't pay him for writing their songs.
A ghostwriter is a person that writes records for other motherfuckers. I wrote some records for some motherfuckers, but guess what, Denver? They ain't paid me my motherfucking money, man. Ain't that fucked up? First of all, I didn't want to make this shit. There's a lot of rap niggas out here faking this shit. I'm a ghostwriter. I'm the cat you don't see. I write hits for rappers you like and charge them a fee. Don't get me wrong, dog. It's a cheddar that counts. But fuck Puff Daddy, cause this fucking check bounce. You know if I keep around no single.
His label made him censor the song since he probably signed an NDA, but in this live performance he name dropped Puff Daddy, Jermaine Dupri, Will Smith, and more. Maybe one day we'll get to hear the uncensored version and see who else he wrote for. There was even a ghostwriter that had the balls to sue a record label. A ghostwriter by the name of Daryl Newdorf sued Sarah McLachlan and her label Network Productions after some of the songs he wrote became hits, so he claimed that he wasn't paid adequately and the judge ruled in his favor for the payment. Another super crazy and arguably worse occurrence in the music industry is ghost producing. There are actually artists and labels that will purchase the rights to someone's instrumental and market it as if it's their own. And believe it or not, this actually happens all the time with DJs, producers, and many more artists throughout the music industry. Ano Kute, the guy who I mentioned earlier, said that he knows one huge DJ who is particularly shameless and he doesn't even know how to operate the equipment. Apparently, this DJ will have 3 to 5 ghost producers in the studio doing all of the work and will take all of the rights while paying the actual artist $5,000 per track. He gets the credit because he's the face, the DJ, the brand. That sounds awfully similar to one DJ we all know and love. I'm not saying it's him for sure, but it definitely could be, who knows. For this video, I was actually able to speak to an artist who's been reached out to by labels to ghost produce for, and they said it went something like this. They knew me as a producer as well as an artist, and I was being approached by a fellow producer who has worked with multiple actual big artists. I'm talking about Grammy Award winning artists. They had their own smaller label that was under the umbrella of a very large, well-known label. What their job was is to create/write beats for bigger artists in mind. They would send those beats to those artists under the larger label and get deals for said beats. These deals could be $20K plus, type buyouts, or deals with residuals, etc. They told me that labels will sign producers all the time for them to work regularly or occasionally, and that there's a wide variety of deals available. With that situation I was in specifically, I was given a list of artists under said major label that either needed beats, songs, which means songs that were written on said beats, ghostwriting, or more. These artists could be as big as someone like Justin Bieber to someone I've never heard of that was signed early in their career. Just like you will find type beats on YouTube, you basically were tasked to make beats tailored to that certain artist's style or genre in hopes to get a deal on the track. They also told me on the list that they were given that there would be DJs and producers who you would assume made their own beats. Although it's possible that some of these DJs and producers were rearranging things, it's also possible they weren't. So your favorite big name DJs and producers may not actually be making their own instrumentals.
A lot of people ask me, like, dang, what have you worked on? And if you ask me what I've worked on, I'll tell you that I produced for Akon, T-Pain, Kanye West, Neo, Sean Paul, Pitbull, Flo Rida, 3 6 Mafia, Nelly. But if you actually look up those songs that I can tell you that I produced, you won't find my name on any of those songs. So a lot of times you'll be like, either he's lying or something is going on that we don't know about.
What's even shadier is that there are websites like EDM Ghostproducer that sell songs that other artists can just take credit for. This was and still is a very big controversy, especially in the EDM community. One website that has since been shut down, called Producer Factory, said on their front page, "Producer Factory is a newly developed idea that allows you to purchase any tracks on this site exclusively and sell it as your own. Create a new professional image or just rise above the rest with our high quality productions by well-known artists. We offer nothing less than the best and assure your fans' approval." So with websites like these and major labels purchasing power, imagine how many producers and DJs are just buying beats off of these websites and marketing it as their own. A situation that brought a ton of attention to the ghostwriting industry was when Meek Mill called out Drake for using ghostwriters. Meek tweeted, "Stop comparing Drake to me too. He don't write his own raps. That's why he ain't tweet my album, because we found out." After this, the blogs went crazy and everyone was talking about ghostwriters. Then people found out that the rapper Quentin Miller was helping Drake write his songs, and they even leaked reference tracks for songs like 10 Bands. Apparently, someone from Drake's camp sent the song to Funk Flex and said that Drake was paying Quentin Miller $5,000 a month to help work on his album. If you're reading this, it's too late. But this wasn't completely ghostwriting, as Quentin Miller was discreetly credited throughout the album. However, this situation brought the ghostwriting industry to the forefront of the conversation, especially in the rap community. Everyone was hating on Drake for using ghostwriters and wondering what other rappers may be misleading fans about their writing abilities. A report by BBC even claimed that 40% of all rap lyrics are ghostwritten, although I'm not sure how accurate that number is. Other songwriters that Forbes interviewed believe that the vast majority of rappers get input from penmen, whether it's credited or under the mixing table. But if ghostwriting is such a common occurrence in the music industry, why is it so frowned upon when rappers do it? If every other large rock and pop artist can use a ghostwriter, why can't Drake? Well, I think the reason that people care so much when it comes to rap is because one of the most important things about rapping is the lyrics. But the debate has the entire industry divided.
If I ever need a ghostwriter, I need to just fucking put the mic down. Anybody out here that does use ghostwriters, that's fine. If that's what you do, that's fine.
People think that since rapping is traditionally about poetry and storytelling, that it should be authentic and come from the heart, especially if the song is talking about life experiences like many rap songs do. I think we would all be a little bit disappointed if we found out that Kendrick wasn't writing the majority of his thought-provoking and emotional lyrics. Of course, other people have different opinions on this as well, such as Chuck D from Public Enemy, who said, "Not everyone is equipped to be a lyricist and not everyone is equipped to be a vocalist." Vice interviewed a man by the name of Alex King, who works for a company called Precision Writtens, a professional ghostwriting agency that specializes in hip-hop, and he told Vice, "Dumb people can argue all day about whether or not ghostwriting is right or wrong, because it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that ghostwriting is the future of hip-hop, because either you get a skilled team of writers behind you, or you get run over by another MC who does." Now, I personally disagree with this statement, but I can guarantee that there's plenty of other people in the industry that agree with it, especially higher-ups at record labels. So after all this, it raises the age-old question: is ghostwriting bad? At the end of the day, that's for you to decide. Me personally, I was heartbroken when I found out Flight didn't even write Disingenuous.
Pain on my shit, so I had to fall back. Hairy ass bitch like my fucking boss hack. I was down on my dick, where the fuck was you?
Seeing as how common ghostwriting is in the music industry, it's very likely that some of your favorite songs and my favorite songs are ghostwritten. Maybe even our favorite instrumentals are ghost-produced, who knows? But ignorance is bliss, so I'm just going to keep on enjoying my music, and I think you should do the same.